Tonight, live from Broadway, one night only, we're counting down to the final performance of the longest-running musical review in Broadway history, Smokey Joe's Cafe.
Stay with me, our lights are bright on Broadway, on Broadway.
Plus, we'll meet the men behind the music, preview the brand new theater season, and visit with Broadway's most successful producer.
It's all coming up live as you join us on the aisle at Smokey Joe's Cafe. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tony Orlando.
And I'm Deborah Gibson.
And welcome to the heart of Times Square and to the exciting night for Broadway and for millions of Broadway fans all around the world.
The first time in 18 years, pay-per-view cameras have gone inside a Broadway theater to bring you an actual performance of a smash hit show.
Tonight, you'll see the final performance of Smokey Joe's Cafe, the songs of Lieber and Stoller. After 5 years and over 2,000 performances, Smokey Joe's Cafe is the longest-running musical review in Broadway history.
Tony, you were a part of that history. Tell me about that.
And proudly, I was in Smokey Joe's last summer. What a great show. And also in Barnum in the early 80s. And I know you just stood this town on their ear when you were doing Broadway.
I was a Broadway baby. My very first dream was Broadway. I got to do Les Mis and Beauty and the Beast. And being back here is amazing. The energy here is so cool. There's nothing like that overture playing and that curtain going up.
That's the truth.
It's magical.
And it's great for the audience. When you're sitting out there, boy, you finally can enjoy a Broadway show at home with your family right there. And what's great about an event like this is that everyone can experience it, everyone. And we know that all of you who are watching tonight can get to New York. You can get to New York, but the airline tickets and the rooms and the tickets for the shows are expensive. You know, it can really add up there.
Of course, the best way to see a Broadway show is live, but what you're going to see tonight is the next best thing at a really affordable price for the entire family.
Very simple. Call your cable operator or satellite provider right now, and in less than 30 minutes, you can have the best seats in the house for the great Smokey Joe's Cafe.
If you look behind me, you can see the crossroads of the world, Times Square. Earlier today, the streets were alive with musicians and actors giving over 50,000 theater fans a free look at the brand new Broadway season. It's an all-star preview that takes place every year featuring shows that could well be the biggest hits of the decade. Here are a few highlights of Broadway on Broadway 2000.
Comes out, you do the carving. You hate Tom Cruise, but you love Lee Marvin. You're a man, and that's a bonus. Cause when you're swinging your cojones, you'll show them what testosterone is. Cause you're a boat wearing beer, drinking shandies on a man. Let you dive on the game. Let you dive on the game.
Also coming to Broadway this fall, Dr. Seuss's characters come to life in Seussical the Musical. Theatergoers can cast their votes for an all-star revival of Gore Vidal's political drama, The Best Man. And no season is complete without a Neil Simon comedy. His new one is called The Dinner Party and stars John Ritter and Henry Winkler.
And Deborah, let's not forget some of the shows that are still running right now on Broadway. We've got shows with new faces like Cheryl Ladd and Annie Get Your Gun, and rocker Sebastian Bach and Jekyll and Hyde. Crowd pleasers like Kiss Me Kate, Music Man, and mega hits like Rent.
25,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
Looks like this Broadway season has something for everyone.
And that's why I love it. We'll be back in a moment after this quick look at Smokey Joe's Cafe, so stay with us now. Welcome back to On the Island, Smokey Joe's Cafe, and we're on the countdown to the final performance of Broadway's longest-running musical review ever.
Just order by calling your local cable operator or satellite provider right now. Only about 24 minutes till showtime.
Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, who wrote all the songs of Smokey Joe's Cafe, had an amazing, huge impact on the music world, no doubt. And nobody knows this better than the guys behind the mics, the DJs who spun the records at America's top radio stations. And to New York's cousin Brucey, Jerry and Mike created a whole new sound. And you better hurry up. We got a little time before sellout. We only got minutes to go before Smokey Joe's Cafe, so there's still time for you to order. I mean, just simply call your cable operator or satellite provider, and some of you can even use that magic remote of yours right now to order, too. Don't forget that.
You can also get more information about Smokey Joe's Cafe by logging on to www.broadwayonline.com. Coming up, we'll meet Broadway's most successful producer. Plus, Cats takes its final meow when we continue.
Midnight, not a sound from the pyramid as the moon lost the memory. She's smiling.
And just a reminder, in case you haven't ordered, the show starts in about 15 minutes, and tonight's broadcast of the final performance of Smokey Joe's Cafe represents a milestone for theater as we bring this show to millions of viewers around the world, literally.
But tonight is another milestone for Broadway. Just minutes ago, the final curtain came down on Cats after a record-breaking 18 years. No musical has ever run as long on Broadway. Those cats must be tired. Earlier today, the original star of Cats, the amazing Betty Buckley, reprised her famous songs from that amazing show.
You understand what happiness is. Look on you, daddy.
Wow. The man who brought Cats to the Great White Way 18 years ago is the producer, Cameron Mackintosh. Right now, he's at the closing night party, but earlier he was right here in your seat, in fact, and we had a chance to visit.
It's great to be back, and it's even better to see you.
Thank you. Well, it's been a while since you were actually my first Broadway producer in Les Mis, but it's been a while since then, and now, of course, you're in town for the closing of Cats. Now, I wanted to ask you, when Cats first came about, did you ever imagine that it was going to be this huge, and how do you feel now that it's closing? And
well, I mean, when Cats first opened in London, I mean, even on the first night, Andrew Lloyd Webber and I weren't sure which way it was going to go, because there was one frightening moment towards the end of the first act where someone who we later discovered was drunk at the end of the Jellicle Ball shouted, "Rubbish!" And we thought, oh my God, this is a turkey. And we discovered later that he thought he was being very funny about John Napier's brilliant set of rubbish. And at the end of the show, which had gone fantastically well, just as we thought we were going to celebrate in the great curtain call, the leading actor playing Old Deuteronomy pulled off his wig and said there was a bomb in the theatre. So we went out, white-faced, the whole audience very, very quiet, and down the stairs, and we kept hearing people saying, "Oh, Lloyd Webber and Mackintosh, they'll do anything for publicity." And we went, "No, it wasn't us. We'd have had press out there if it was us." But from then on, the show just took on this extraordinary life. But neither of us ever thought it was going to be quite as big as it was, and it's been an amazing thrill.
so it's a kind of bittersweet, the closing, and are you kind of wanting to maybe bring something new to Broadway, it kind of in its place, I mean, to kind of fill that void?
Well, not really. I mean, for any producer to have one mega hit like this in his life is extraordinary. Luckily, I've had several. The great thing about Cats closing now, it's closing in wonderful shape. It's going out with as big a bang as it opened on Broadway, and that's exactly what I feel. It's why I decided to take Miss Saigon off at the end of the year, because that too, I believe, they had a fantastic run on Broadway, virtually 10 years, and I want that to go out on top.
Now, speaking of Miss Saigon, I mean, that's a show that had so many bells and whistles and the helicopter, and, that people walked out kind of feeling like they got that real kind of glamorous Broadway production, and I know putting it together is I would say probably a smaller show in that regard, but more about the music and the performances. Tell us a little bit about putting it together and what's going on with that.
Well, putting it together is a show that Stephen Sondheim and the actress Julia Mackenzie and I devised nearly 10 years ago in England. We did it. The original leading lady was Diana Rigg, and it was an idea really that came out of Stephen Sondheim's feeling that the first show that we'd done together nearly 25 years ago was Side by Side by Sondheim, which was the show that launched Stephen Sondheim, particularly in England.
I saw it as a kid, actually, loved it.
Great show. And what he didn't want to do was, as he wrote new shows, keep slotting new numbers into that show, which worked perfectly as itself. So he said, when we, 10 years on, or it turned out to be 15 years on, let's put a new show, devise a new show. But of course, a lot of the songs of the new shows were very emotional. So Stephen himself devised a very brief framework, which is really to do with a group of people, the kind of archetypal characters that are in many of his shows, like Follies or Company, singing these songs, and they interact. It's entirely the words and music of Stephen Sondheim. And then we did it first in America in the middle 90s with Julie Andrews. I did it at the Manhattan Theatre Club, and it was a great success then, but Julie Andrews couldn't go on with it. And at that time, Carol Burnett, who has been so wonderful with it on Broadway, came to me and she said she'd like to do it, but it took her a few years to be available.
Do you think we're going to see any of these performances on the Broadway network, putting it together?
Putting it together is up and coming, and they've done the most fantastic job. I mean, I couldn't believe that this small show with 5 people and brilliant talents, wonderful songs, could look such a spectacle.
The subtlety of the camera work will really bring it home, probably.
Yeah. And Bob Crowley's brilliant set is wonderful.
I just want to thank you for joining us, and enjoy the closing of Cats tonight.
I will. It will be a great, great night, and I shall look forward to bringing The Witches of Eastwick, which is my latest show here, as my next big show to America.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that, too. Thank you.
Bye, Debbie.
Bye-bye.
Great job, Debbie. What a humble and talented man. We're just minutes away from Smokey Joe's Cafe, so stay with us for another preview of tonight's big show.
Today.
Welcome back. I'm Deborah Gibson.
And I'm Tony Orlando.
Ordering Smokey Joe's right now is a good idea because this great musical starts in, about 8 minutes or so.
You know, Smokey Joe's Cafe was produced using the latest in television technology. I mean, a dozen high-definition cameras and almost 50 microphones were placed all around the theater, allowing the home viewer to truly have the best seat in the house.
This also means that you'll see one of the sharpest and most detailed pictures ever.
But if any of you are like sound, audio, and all that, it's going to cost you about $6,000 or $7,000. A little steep, but you know, that amount is sure to come down. Don't you worry about it.
But even without a top-of-the-line system, watching a Broadway show at home can be great fun, too. I mean, invite a few friends over, throw a little dinner party. Don't forget to invite me. We began to wonder what type of menu might go best with the songs of Lieber and Stoller, didn't we, Tony? So we went and got that answer from the chef at one of New York's hottest restaurants. Website, BroadwayOnline.com for Chef Michon's complete recipe.
Hey, I want to remind you, we only got about 4 minutes, 26 seconds counting down here to start a Smokey Joe's Cafe. You guys better hurry. This is your last chance to order. I mean, it's a Broadway and television event you don't want to miss. I can tell you that now. Call your cable operator right now.
For the past 5 summers, kids from all over America have come to New York to be a part of Camp Broadway. It's a week-long summer camp for kids who want to learn more about theater from people who are working on Broadway, putting on those 8 grueling shows a week.
Turn, we'll do it slow first.
Because it goes a little faster.
Reach, 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 reach.
This summer, in a couple of the camp's most popular sessions, the kids got to strut their stuff Broadway style with the help of dancers from the hit musicals Saturday Night Fever and Swing.
Dance is kind of a universal language. You know, it's something the whole world does. Dancing is about an expression of an emotion. And if you can do it while you're working, well, great. But that it's supposed to be fun and that it's an expression of emotion.
And for me, I plan on being on Broadway, and so dancing obviously has to be a big part of my life.
Broadway's future Fred and Gingers might have a little competition from the Travoltas of tomorrow.
When I see these kids here at the Camp Broadway, I think, wow, what a future that we have. Their kids are full of energy, they're full of excitement, they're so eager to learn, and it makes it so much more fun to be here. Pick up your right leg, behind yourself. Reach, 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 reach. Oh, that sounded good, almost. Left, right, kick, down, roll. They can be as good as they try to be, and that's all we ask. They take to disco dancing because you know what? It's everywhere you go. When you go to parties at someone's house, when you go to a friend's house, when you go to any kind of function, they're dancing together, and it's disco.
So, how do our swing students compare to our disco dancers? You be the judge.
5, 6, 7, go.
Reach it out. Reach, 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 reach. Jump up, down.
God, I think I was that kid in that segment. They had Camp Broadway when I was a kid. I would have been all over it. That looks like so much fun, and it's very inspiring. It's very cool to see these Broadway performers giving
This
their
show
time.
is going to bring kids to Broadway across America. And once again, if you haven't ordered this pay-per-view premiere show, you can still call your cable operator right now to see this great family show at a great price.
Tony and I will be watching the show right here with you, and we'll be back at Intermission with special profiles of the incredibly talented actors you're about to see. So please, don't go anywhere. Call your operator.
Yeah, so gather your family, everybody around, and get to your TV and come with us to the Virginia Theater on Broadway as the Tony Award-winning original cast performance of Smokey Joe's Cafe.
She'll get you in touch. You can look, but you better not touch. Boys alive.
Incredible. Hi, everybody. This is Tony Orlando.
And I'm Deborah Gibson coming to you live from the heart of Times Square with on the aisle at Smokey Joe's Cafe. I do lie, cheat,
Cheat,
lie,
cheat,
cheat.
do the hoochie coo. I used to have. I mean,
Okay.
come on, if you can't get up after that,
Way to
that
go,
first act
guys.
was incredible. Wasn't that amazing?
It
We'll
was
have Act 2
amazing.
for you in just a few minutes. But Deborah, you know, what an amazing performance from all those.
I know, this is amazing energy. It's like a concert meets a Broadway show, and everyone knows the songs, and they rock out in the aisles, and I'm sure they're rocking out in their
And you know,
living
I can
rooms
tell
right
you
now.
from experience, Deborah, because I did this show, those performers, honest to God, will top that first half. One standing ovation after the next.
I didn't get to see the
Amazing.
original cast, so I can't wait.
The original cast is the most amazing thing. Each one of those people deserved the Tony. I know many of them got the nomination, but boy, each one of them deserved it. And if you'd like to be a part of this, why don't you tell them what they can do? Boy?
I will go ahead and tell them right now. If you would like to be informed as to when the video cassette and the DVD will be available,
I want
go
that.
to www.broadwayonline.com and sign in. We'll notify you soon with the details.
You know, as I just said, you know, Smokey Joe's Cafe was nominated for 7 awards, including Best Musical. And for those nominations, what we did was we went to the cast. So watch this.
One of the great things about the final performance is that it reunites, you've got some fans down there, it reunites 7 of the original cast members.
So let's take a few moments, as I was supposed to say, before we go, let's just go backstage and meet the stars of Smokey Joe's
It's
Cafe.
all
As soon as the
happening.
mouth gets working. Ken Ard has originated leading roles in the Broadway companies of Cats and Starlight Express, and he is currently developing The Balladeer, an original one-man show featuring a collection of crooner classics and jazz standards.
Everybody knows the music. When you put on a tune, it's like they see it on television commercials, they hear it in movies, they hear it in elevators, they hear it in the grocery store. So when we start to sing the song that maybe they don't know all the words to, somebody knows some part of it somewhere, and the audience is usually singing.
Adrian Bailey's Broadway credits include The Who's Tommy, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Jelly's Last Jam, My One and Only, and Sophisticated Ladies. Most recently, he appeared on Broadway in The Wild Party.
The effect that this show has on people is incredible. There was a little old woman the other day that walked up to me and she said, she was crying, and she said, "I can't believe you guys are closing." She said, "I've seen this show 25 times. And she said, every time I feel blue, I come to see this show. And I hear that over and over and over again.
Matt Bogart has been featured on Broadway, Miss Saigon and the Civil War. He recently starred in Sideshow in Washington, D.C., and is currently back on Broadway in the company of the new musical, Aida.
The song that really stands out for me, that kind of symbolizes the show, is Stand By Me. I feel really lucky to be a part of this company, and I love singing that song at the end of the show. It really brings us together, makes us feel as one, and I'm really excited about singing it for the last time tonight.
I'm only made of flesh, blood, and bone.
Brenda Braxton received a Tony Award nomination for Smokey Joe's and an NAACP Theater Award. She is the founder of Leading Ladies Just for Teens, seminars geared to empowering teenage girls.
Don't be seduced or reduced by the audience. So if it's a good audience, don't get your head all big and go, okay, I'm doing it now. Or if it's a bad audience, oh God, I'm doing a horrible show. But it's a wonderful interaction having a live audience right there. So Broadway, that's to me the only place you could get something like that.
Victor Trent Cook was also nominated for a Tony Award for Smokey Joe's Cafe. His Broadway credits include Street Corner Symphony and Starlight. In 1988, Victor was a $100,000 Star Search winner as Best Male Vocalist.
I will keep going back to this cast, the original cast, because we have been a family. We have seen new babies. We have seen marriages. We have seen divorces. We have seen breakups. We have been a true family.
B.J. Crosby received Tony Award and Olivier Award nominations for Smokey Joe's. She co-starred in the national tour of the Civil War and workshopped a new musical, Yo Alice, based on Alice in Wonderland.
This is where the designers come in and build costumes just for you. This is where the music is arranged just for you. You know, this is where you pick up a script, and this character has already been created. But sometimes the writer and the director have to get in there and change it to your personality. It's just for you. That's what Broadway means.
Delee Lively, the fourth star of Smokey Joe's to be nominated for a Tony Award, has appeared on Broadway in A Chorus Line and Grand Hotel. She's toured in Dreamgirls and Groucho and has been featured in over 30 commercials.
Opening night of Smokey Joe's was the toughest opening I ever had because usually I was playing a character in a musical. Hence Valerie Clark in Chorus Line. And so the people, the critics, whoever might go, well, I didn't like her rendition of it. This was Delee on stage as Delee, and it was petrifying. I'm telling you, I don't remember ever being that nervous.
Deb Lyons appeared in the original London company of Smokey Joe's Cafe and on tour in the U.S. with Jekyll and Hyde. She toured internationally with the original pop group, the Mamas and the Papas.
Every night before the show, we have a prayer circle, and we all connect right before the show. Remember that we're all together in this, and we all try to support each other. And it's a wonderful group of people. It really is.
Frederick B. Owens made his Broadway debut in the original cast of Smokey Joe's Cafe. His stage appearances include Guys and Dolls, Little Shop of Horrors, and most recently on Broadway in Jesus Christ Superstar.
I didn't understand the magnitude of what Broadway was because I had never been on Broadway before. So when we had opening night, those people who had already experienced Broadway, they were like very excited. They were up, you know, they were just ready for the curtain to go up, and they were ready to tear the place down. And I was like, what is all the fuss about? Well, 5 years later, I know what all the fuss is all about. It doesn't get any better than Broadway. You know, it just doesn't.
I tell you, I've been in show business 40 years, and I have never met a collection of entertainers as incredible as the ones in this show, and I mean that sincerely.
I loved hearing them talk about Prayer Circle. I've done that before with cast, and it really is a wonderful way to start
every show. And their musical director, Louis St. Louis, is just genius. He did Grease, he did this show. I mean, it's a family, and it's a true family, and it shows in their performances. They give to the audiences, and they pray for the audience. They pray that the audience goes home having a great time.
That is awesome, and Broadway Television Network is bringing all that joy to you, and it's dedicated to bringing the viewing audience, currently running Broadway musicals, and then making them available on video, cassette, and DVD.
You know, Broadway Television Network will bring you actual performances of Broadway shows as they take place on stage in a widescreen format. And for those of you who have high definition definition sets. I'm tongue-tied from that cast. You're in a for a real treat because this is the state-of-the-art high-definition cameras and Broadway surround sound. It's almost like being in the theater. It really is.
We transmit the show from right here in crazy Times Square by satellite to viewers around the world, enabling millions of people to enjoy the form of theatrical entertainment you can find.
We hope you will come to Broadway or see a Broadway show when it comes to your area. But if you miss it, we think pay-per-view is the next best way to see Broadway's best entertainment right in your own living room and at a price you just can't beat.
Before we begin Act 2, we'd like to thank you all for having us in your homes tonight. Thank you for dinner. It was fabulous. Broadway Television Network will be back in the winter with another great show for the entire family. Signing off, I'm Deborah Gibson.
And I'm Tony Orlando. Thanks for joining us again. Here comes Act 2 of Smokey Joe's Cafe. Get ready to go.
Won't you dance with me? Oh, hold me tighter, tighter and tighter.